Good morning. Got a little breakfast going. Throw some eggs on there in just a second. Spent the night in the truck last night. I'm going to take on the Dragon Trail this morning. I looked at all trails. It's 38 miles. It's going to be a heck of a push. I'm hoping to wrap her up inside of 14 hours. It's like 5:15 right now. I'm going to get some food in me. Got a chance of thunderstorms around noon, I think. Other than that, it's going to be kind of warm, but we'll fight through everything and we'll get her done. I'll bring you along. Let's see how it goes. So how we doing? About an hour in on this rainy start to the morning. As I said in the truck, on all trails this says it's going to be 38.6 miles. We'll see if it's short or long. My real plan is to see where I'm at when my tracker says I'm at about 15 miles. And we'll decide if we're going back at that point or if we're going to push around. If we think it's going to be close on mileage, we'll probably try and push around. I didn't get on the trail until about 6:30, so I'm just an hour in right now. The rain's going to be in and out all day. If I can maintain the pace I want to for today, and it stays at like that 38-mile mark, I should be done by 7:30. My only goal is to be off trail by about 10 o'clock tonight. Right now it shows about that time we got thunderstorms and lightning and stuff rolling through, so I prefer not to have to hike through all of that, but if that's where we're at, that's where we're at. Walking along the reservoir here is actually gorgeous. And so far, most of the trails kind of kept me right on it. So we're walking across the Croton Hardy Dam at the very bottom end of our hike. So we'll go up and around all the way to the top side and cross over. The reservoir is supposed to be, I think, 6.5 miles long. A few fishermen down on their bottom side. Well, we're about 2 hours and 10 minutes in. Carrying just over that 3 pace. Hopefully we can keep that for the next 10 hours. Kind of been walking in and out of these valleys for the last few minutes. Down one side and up the other. Nothing terrible though. Kind of nice actually being able to see the lake for most of the hike so far. Not quite been right on it like I was on the other side a little bit that I walked, so I don't know what it's really going to bring, but having a little view isn't bad. I have to admit, it's mushroom season up here, and I finding myself looking at the side of the trail a lot more than I should be today, and I think my dreams of being done by 10 would be gone about the time I find my first mushroom patch today by accident, because some of these woods I've walked through have been really good looking from else. A den right there of some sort. Pretty well used, it looks like. Just about that 3-hour mark in, and I couldn't think of a prettier spot than to give you an update from right here. It's actually a memorial vista behind me here, but She's pretty. Definitely enjoying this trail, but we are about 9.5 miles in, so still cooking right along right where we were at. I don't really see us getting any faster today. Maybe on the road walk section we will push it up a little bit, but in the meantime, we're just going to keep trucking. The rain's held off for the last couple of hours. I'm going to stop up here in a little ways and change out the insoles of my shoes. I'm still wearing my rain kilt, so I'm going to shed that here soon because the humidity, it has replaced that rain with just about as bad. Well, we're 4 hours in, still carrying that same good old pace. We're currently in the middle of another cutback to go around a stream, and I think I got about 5 or 6 more miles going up this side before my road walk. We got wind. He's in there somewhere. Hey, another hour's passed. We're coming up on that noon time. But we are just over 15 miles in. So we are bearing in on that halfway part. Say another hour and a half. We'll be able to call ourselves halfway. I did just come across some mushrooms, but sadly they were beefsteak. So we get to continue walking without too much interruption other than a quick picture and very quick video I did of them. So hey, we're not feeling too bad. I honestly kind of want to wait till the 20-mile mark to do a good lunch break and a solid 15 minutes off the feet, take the shoes off, all that good stuff. But till then, we're trying to keep up this 3-1-3-2 we got going. Well, it's windy as can be, but I'm at that point that I can't see either end of the lake anymore. So it's kind of good. We're getting pretty close to our road walk on this side. So figure I'll get the last views of the woods for a while. Good news, we're 18 and a half in. It'll be 6 hours now. Bad news, just looked at the map and I think all trails may be full of it on the mileage on this one, because should be like within a couple miles of halfway, and I look like I'm 5, 6, 7, 8 miles away from halfway at least. But this road walk might just look longer than the other stuff's crunched up because it's back and forth down there, and it's straight quick road walk on this side pretty much till the end. So of course I'm not on the road right now. It's a little skip off of the road here. Doesn't go far, but right back on the gravel road, and then soon enough I think it's probably on 20, so we'll be up on that and on our way up and around. Well, just keep stepping. Hey, worst case is 50 miles, and if it's 50 miles, that means it's half day 100. So if we knock that out here tonight, and it'll make me feel pretty good about what's coming up. So we'll just keep walking. Why they gotta be beefsteaks? How you doing? the not so glorious part of hiking trails sometimes. There's a section of trails, or segment section of called 7 of the trail that's closed. So they got you out here on the road. Good news is that curve up there, I think I cut off just after it. Back to some dirt roads. Well, it's 2 o'clock. Almost 2 o'clock. We are 7 hours in. 21.3 miles. So, still here on the road. We'll be on the road for the next update, because I just kind of did a quick look. Looks like it's about 4.5 miles up to the bridge we cross. We're pushing hard. I'm glad to see that top side when we get there, though. I'm taking a break there for another. I'll take a break there for 20 or 30 minutes. So, 8 hours in, rolling up on 3 o'clock. So, got about 1.25 miles. We'll be across the top side of the bridge, and we'll be working our way back down the short side to camp. At that point, I think it'll be about 15 miles to get back to the truck. But shortly after we cross that top, I'm taking my half-hour break and getting my lunch in. I'm going to hydrate really well while I'm there, so drop right down next to the river there, and that's what I'm going to do. Haven't been doing much recording the last couple of hours. We've been just kind of doing the road walk, but this right here, this is worth recording. We are crossing back over, so we will be heading back down the pond. So we are on our way back to camp. One more sign, and we are back on trail. Enough of this road walking. As promised, it's lunchtime. I didn't cross the bridge by very far, but she dropped right back down in here. So, eat me some peanut butter and jelly and tortillas. I ate one of those already. I think I'm gonna have 2 more. I'm gonna try and drink at least half a liter to a liter of water. And then I'm gonna fill both my jugs up. I did see my first trail mileage sign as we were leaving the roadway. It showed 20 miles. And I'm assuming that's all the way to the starting point, or the where 1 begins. We are, I started at, I think 4.1 is what it showed at the parking lot that I was at there. So we should have just about 16 miles, 5.5 hours, maybe 6 at this rate once we get back to hiking. Did just look, and I'm getting a little bit of a blister on my 1 foot, but I got the socks and shoes off right now. Letting everything kind of do its thing. Airing the feet, letting them relax. I'm gonna finish relaxing myself. I'll talk to you when we're back on the trail. That's one place to put the rock out the way. So I just seen the 18-mile sign, so if everything's correct, it means we're down to 14 miles. Should be there in less than 5 hours. Things are looking up. Sort of. Also means we got 14 more miles to go. Sorry about that wind, but nature does what nature does. It's been an hour since lunch, and we are almost right at that 29-mile mark. It's 5 o'clock. I think we've done about 41 miles. So we're narrowing in on it. Just gonna keep going. Not feeling too shabby. So worst case, I'll take another break. That's what we do. Hey there, it's 7 o'clock. I did end up stopping and taking that break. That was 15, maybe 20 minutes, I'm not sure. Honestly, I didn't look. We're 33.8 miles in. The signs still say I'm on track to be about 41. So we are narrowing it down to the last couple of hours. And I like it. Because I'm over it for today. And I still have a jog up the hill. Thinking about dinner. Smash burgers for this evening, maybe. Well, that's what I brought, so as long as I have the energy to cook, that's what it's gonna be. I think I said it before, I'll say it again, this trail has been a very pretty trail. I've enjoyed walking along the water as much as I have. A lot of times it's from a bank, but you drop back down to it quite often. I wanted to make a note to let people know that this trail has 10 segments. Once they open segment 7 up and it cuts that road walk out, it's probably gonna add, I'd say 6 miles roughly to this loop. Just something to think about if you're ever gonna try and day hike it. That once that's open, it'll probably be almost a 50-mile loop. So that'll get pretty serious for a day hike. Doable, but pretty serious. Hey, it's 8 o'clock. 36 miles in now. My pace is falling off. I'm finding excuses to stop and stand or stop and sit for just a minute or two. But we're less than 6 miles to go. So we're getting there. But I'm ready to be done. I'm done. So close I can taste it, pick up yet. But it'll come. And when it does, I'm sure my pace will pick up just a little bit. I'm not sure if I'll give you a 9 o'clock update, depending on exactly how dark it is. If I don't give you a 9 o'clock update, I'll talk to you at the truck. Till then. Not late. 4 to go. Good morning. So, I failed to give you my recap last night when I got back to the truck. I got back to the truck at about 9:30, 9:35 or something like that. I was spent, but I was energized so crazy at the same time. And I did sit there and I had a beer and I called Cindy and we talked for a few minutes, and I came down here, got my campsite, and it was kind of nice out. At least it felt like it was kind of nice out, and it was just nice to stop moving. So I sat there and I drank 2 more beers on the picnic table, and then I got the chills, and I just totally forgot to get back with you guys. So, turned out my mileage was 41.18 according to my tracker. So, slightly more than it said it was going to be, but we anticipated that early on in the hike. This is a great trail. I'm actually going to come back and do this again in the fall, most likely with some friends, and we'll 2-day it. Do a couple 25-mile days roughly, if they get Trail 7 opened up. If not, it'll be a little bit shorter, but there's great campgrounds all the way around this, and the views are great. And I can only imagine that when the fall colors are on, looking across the river and the pond, where's the pond, and seeing all of that, it's going to be great. Did manage to give myself a blister. I sort of noticed it at lunch, did a little bit of something about it, but it got a little worse. Just something we've been dealing with. So when you think about doing the Allegheny 100, the mental side of it is quite the challenge. You have to look at it as you do the hike I did yesterday, and then you sleep for 2 hours, and you turn around and do the hike again. Sleep for 2 hours, and do half of that hike again. And the fact that you start out Friday night at 6 o'clock at night, so you get, 10 miles in or so before dark, and then you night hike until 4 in the morning, and you try to get that sleep. And last year when I did that, it was very busy where I chose to sleep. So even though I was down for 2 hours, I probably didn't sleep 30 minutes, it felt like. It's probably longer, but I was awake constantly. It's very, very tough, and that's why the finish rate is so slim on the full 100. At this point, I don't know if I'll get the 100. Last year I was very confident. This year I'm not so confident. And yeah, I did a great hike yesterday, but the idea of doing it again today, I wasn't feeling it. And that was with more sleep than I would have got for there. So the advantage of not having much sleep and just a quick rest is your body doesn't have quite as much time to stiffen up and tell you how much it don't like you. Because like last night, as soon as I stopped for any reason, as soon as I start moving again, my feet were so mad. But as long as I kept them moving, we were okay. So just some food for thought, just my perspective on things from having tried to do it once and somehow being dumb enough to try and do it again. So we'll be back at her next weekend hard. Ain't sure what we're going to do, but we're going to hit some miles again.